Hey guys, my name is Natalia Nicholson. I'm a digital marketeer and I run a mastermind called Women in Digital Business. Women in Digital Business is all about 25 women that come around a virtual boardroom together and we talk about how to get them ahead in their business and give them all the training and coaching they need to be able to sell successfully online. So my first business was in 2003, and at that age of 23, I really wanted to be the next multicultural Amazon. So I opened up a multi-store bookstore. I really wanted to teach people where they came from. I didn't understand who I was from a really young age. I knew I was different at school. I knew the history they told me I came from slavery, but I didn't seem to know anything else. That yearning for knowledge is what fueled me to start my first online business. And back then it was a lot different. So I failed my way to success, went bankrupt, owed a lot of people money. I then started a cleaning business where that's how I made my money back, and it was my first successful business. From there I realised this isn't for me, I'm just a slave for myself. So after that I thought, okay, what can I do that I'm going to enjoy? And I really wanted to get into business coaching because I felt like the marketplace was just so crowded with so many coaches that had never actually run their own business. So that's what made me get into the coaching space. Plus I'd had children of my own and I needed to do something that was flexible, that fitted around them. But that still wasn't good enough for me, because any of you out there who have got that entrepreneurial energy, you'll understand there'll always be something in you that says, I want to be doing my own thing. So I then put together my own range of candles and started my own e-commerce business. So in the last 5 years, I have been going to conferences, I've been coached, attended masterminds of other people's to really understand how to sell online. And that's really what's brought me into the digital space. Digital business is anything that could be a digital product. It could be anything that's sold or marketed on the internet. It could be anything you even do on the internet. Maybe you want to be an influencer, an authority. It doesn't necessarily have to be about selling a product or service. The word digital is the fact that all your communication is now going to go through social media, through hardware, through software. Your product or service could actually be digital. Maybe it's an app. So the word digital is a really big word, but essentially how you market it or how you create it would be through digital channels. You need to start off with your passion. Don't think about the digital part yet. You know, we are in the digital age and everything we do in the information age is change. But essentially, you know, you need to start off with what's your passion, what's your drive. It doesn't necessarily have to be online. It's about being able to adapt your idea and your passion into the digital world. You know, the minute you start thinking, what can I do online? It starts to become a really mechanical process. And what will happen is you'll lose your drive and energy for it. So just try to think, okay, what is my passion? What do I love doing? And once you've thought about that, then think about how does that translate into the digital world and selling online. I always call it technology meets psychology. You've got the creating an app, you've got the coding, you've got the programming. And just to let you know, women and girls in diversity are rocking it right now in technology. And there is a huge space to get into. It's the simple fact that, you know, we understand IT, we can program, we can code, but we also understand the way of the world. So if we look at, you know, what does a typical IT department look like, and we look at series like the IT Crowd and what they put out in the media, you know, we don't fit that description. So the mere fact that we can grow up in households where we are mums, we are daughters, we are sisters, nieces, aunts, and then you can also go and do something so technical, that's what gives us the edge. But then there's a flip coin to that, which is the psychology, which is about understanding people's behaviours, how they act, how they consume. But this time, we're not doing it in a world where we see each other face to face or we can touch. The whole 5 senses have been taken out of it because we're now communicating through a computer, through a smartphone. So now it's about understanding, okay, how do I connect with people? How do I sell? How do I build relationships with people through this technological age? So there's 2 elements of it, and if you can do the 2, well, boom. You can do it all. You can do social media. You understand how to use softwares, program, code. So there's a huge space for so many jobs from the IT side, and then the psychology side, which is building out funnels, social media, writing content, being an influencer. The list just goes on and on and on. It is looked upon as either being really tech heavy and tech industry, or it's looked upon as the perfect Instagram picture where you've got to be the perfect person and you can't just be yourself. But I think that is the misconception about it. To really succeed in digital marketing, your job is to understand how do you connect with people, but doing it through technology. So the moment that you can crack that, that's when you're ahead. So I think there's a huge misconception of people thinking, oh, I'll just do some videos. Oh, I'll just post every day. Oh, I'll just write some blogs and put them out. Or yeah, I'll just go on a programming course and I'm gonna build my own app. Without actually understanding who your app's even for and who is the audience that you're programming or coding for, without even understanding, what blog are you writing, what video are you putting, what's the content strategy, and not understanding who you are connecting with, it's just not going to work. And I think that's the misconception. There's this misconception that there's this scientific approach that you can take of 2 + 2 = 4, and if I follow these steps, I can get into digital marketing. And it's not. It's about human connection, believe it or not. Just because we're in the digital age doesn't mean that you can take away the connection that we all yearn for. Every human being lusts and yearns for love. We all want human contact. We all want love. Love is the biggest force of this earth. So it's about how do you introduce that into the digital world. And I think for me, that's the misconception. We're actually raising funds at the moment and started a crowdfund with NatWest back her business. We're actually going to raise £100,000. So 10 women will get the opportunity to start or scale their business with that £10,000. So that's pretty huge, and that's going to take off and grow. And for me, it's not just a UK initiative. The crowdfund is started as a UK initiative, but in terms of expansion, in terms of digital marketing and building a community and being able to train and coach, I very much see that being the Caribbean, being Africa, being the UAE. It's a worldwide international thing for me. I think being a woman is really special, and being a woman of colour is even more special. And being an underrepresented woman, be it you're an immigrant or you're living somewhere where you're not a part of the masses, you're not represented, it's just absolutely key, and it's a real big passion of mine to be able to help those communities and rise those women and girls up. So I think expansion in terms of my coaching is definitely about rising, should I say, a nation of women to be able to rock and start their own online business, because we are in the digital age. So many things have become so much more accessible because of the digital age, and I think anyone that's in business right now really needs to look at, okay, where am I and how can I be innovative and how can I adapt what I'm doing to the digital and the information age, because that's where we are. And I also run my own e-commerce store. So this year I'm actually expanding my products from candles into throws, cushions, mugs, phone covers, all with inspirational messages. I'm all about uplifting, I'm all about giving love, and I'm all about motivation. So those are the 2 areas I'd like to expand in my 2 businesses. My first business, the online bookstore. So imagine that, I was a graduate of marketing. I worked at big media houses for a couple of years, thought I was all that, thought I was going to set my own business up, and I put everything into it. And I just kept pumping money into the marketing, advertising, wasn't getting any return on investments, and that business went down. Like, a day came where I put my card into the cash point machine and it was gone. I had not even £5 in my purse, I had nothing. And the realisation set in that it's over. I cannot do this anymore. That is what really taught me how sometimes in life you've just got to take it. You've just got to swallow it. At that period in my life, I had to confront people and say, look, it's come to an end. I haven't got any money. I can't pay you back. The banks, the credit cards, the loans, family, friends, I had to confront a lot of things. And I would say that was the making of me. Having to fess up, having to talk up, having to confess all of that and talk about it, and it was just so uncomfortable. No one wants to fail at anything, but being under a microscope and having to explain to everyone how you failed, it's definitely one of the worst things I've ever experienced in life, but it's the best thing that has ever happened to me. I think anybody who's going through anything, you've just got to confront things and just confront them head on. And the truth does set you free, because what is the worst that can happen? You're not going to die. But that setback was definitely the making of me, and it taught me so much about moving forward in business because of that great big fall that I took. I don't know. And I think I've reached a stage where I don't need to know. I really want to make the Women in Mastermind a really huge success. I think my ultimate goal would be to have businesses that come out of my mastermind that turn into multi-billion companies, that turn into really successful women, and we build a community where it's like, okay, I was a part of this mastermind. It gave me the foundation to be where I am now, and I think that would be a huge thing for me. But at the same time, if that didn't happen, I know that God's got great plans for me, so whatever direction I go in, that is the direction for me. But ultimately, in terms of my next step, it really is growing that mastermind and having it as a place where women can come to that really want to get ahead, and they'll get all the direction and support that they need. There's just so many get-rich-quick schemes out there, and they don't exist. And I would like to think that I'm authentic. I know I'm authentic, actually. I shouldn't even say that. Words are important, remember that. A place where people can come and get all the information and knowledge they need without anything being held back. As a woman of colour, I think that's been one of my biggest obstacles in life, in, going through school, going through university, going through jobs, setting up businesses, and always being treated differently and not privy to the same information as everyone else. So in terms of moving forward and what are the next steps for me, it's just to keep gaining more and more knowledge, gaining more and more traction to become more successful so I can pass that on to others. And also grow my e-commerce store. I would love to see my e-commerce store become a big national department online store run by a whole team of women of colour. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you got some insights and tips. Please do look at the description below to find out more information, how you can even find out about the crowdfund, find out about events that I run, webinars that I run that are all complimentary, that will really help you on your journey of digital marketing. Black Girls Brunch, please make sure you share and you follow. It's so important in terms of building a community. And as an older woman, as much as I don't want to say it, it's really important that we have as much role models and we uplift the younger generation. So as girls, make sure please that you follow and you share and you make this channel blow up.